everyone, and welcome to another Comic Geek video. Today I will be ranking all 7 of the Arkham games, including the VR, Arkham Origins Blackgate, and the mobile app Arkham City Lockdown. Now, this is a little unusual, and if you have a different opinion, that's fine. You don't have to agree with mine. This is my opinion. And my ranking system and how I've ranked each game may be different from yours, which is, again, completely fine. If you have a different opinion, go ahead and list it down below in the comments. I would love to hear your opinion. Just please, be respectful of other people's opinion. Now, let's dive right into the list. At the bottom of the list, number 7, would have to be Batman Arkham VR. Now, Batman Arkham VR, originally I thought it seemed really great. My favorite part of the Batman Arkham series, or at least one of them, was all the detective work. I loved the detective work. So when I heard about the game that focused solely on the detective work and solving Dick Grayson's murder, it sounded wonderful. It sounded phenomenal. And I was planning on getting the VR system just for this game. However, there are a few major flaws. A, it all turned out to be just a dream, which is kind of like a sellout ending when you don't know what to do as an actual ending. That was awful. B, well, there's not really much you can do in it. I mean, yeah, you can find Easter eggs, you can find a few Riddler trophies, and solve Dick Grayson's murder, but there's no AR challenges or anything. Because it's a VR, they don't want anything to happen to their players. Understandable, but they should have still added more to do. So, now, for number 6. The mobile app, Arkham City Lockdown. Now, overall, this was a pretty good game. I quite enjoyed it. Oops, wrong figure. Arkham City Lockdown was basically taking place during the development of Arkham City. And I don't entirely remember the story. It's been a while since I've played it, and I think it's been removed from the Apple Store and the Google Store. But the story was pretty good. Its graphics were mediocre. Not a big deal. And what really made this fall so low on the list was the fact that it is purely a 2D fighting game, which is quite boring and quite unfortunate. Now, I do like the fact that you have various skins in this game, but what game of the Arkham series doesn't other than VR? Now, let's move on. At 5th is Batman Arkham Origins Blackgate. This was available for one of the portable PlayStation systems as well as the 3DS. I have it for 3DS. The story was really good. I enjoyed it. And I do like the fact that they allowed you to replay videos from the story after you've completed the game. Now, there's not much to do other than the story. In my opinion, they should have added more. And one thing that causes this game to fall at the 5th place would have to be the fact that it's mainly 2D, and you don't get that 3D free roam or anything like that. And the combat system, they've really taken away a lot of things. For example, there are no special attacks like the takedown, the throw, or even the disarm and destroy. They don't have that. In Predator, they've made it boring because it's 2D. You don't have as large a map or even the same feel. Now, I think it is worth playing purely for the story. I quite enjoyed the story, and there are 3 different endings, which I quite enjoy. Each ending happens, but you don't get to see until you complete the story mode at least 3 different times. And with different orders of who you take down first. Joker, Penguin, or Black Mask. Now, let's move on. Now, many of you will probably disagree with this one, but number 4, in my opinion, would be Batman Arkham Asylum. This one, in my opinion, was extremely hard to find a place for. After all, it did start this whole series, and this series, altogether, all of them, are good. All of their stories are good. And this game started it all. And that is so big, you gotta think a lot about it to find a place for it. And unfortunately, my place for it is number 4. One thing I do love about this game and Arkham City is a hidden room within it. This is phenomenal to me. This is huge. I mean, they were planning Arkham City before they knew Arkham Asylum was going to be a success. That is mind-blowing. Now, what causes Arkham Asylum to fall so low on this list, considering how major it was, is the lack of features and the lack of playable skins, the lack of things to do, the lack of quick-fire gadgets. That is mainly what causes it to fall so low on this list. And I'm not even gonna look at the final boss fight, because yes, the final boss fight sucked, but it could have been worse. I mean, this game was like the experiment to see if the Arkham series would succeed, and it passed. Now, removing the final boss fight, the game is amazing. And it is quite unfortunate that it ranked so low. Now, time to move on. In the number 3 spot is Batman Arkham City. You guys are probably wondering, whoa. Arkham City's in 3rd? It is arguably the best game of the series. But I would actually argue that it isn't. Now, it is the first Arkham game that I've played, so I'm not ranking it based on nostalgia. What is in the number 1st spot was actually the 2nd Arkham game that I got to play. The first Arkham game I got to play was Batman Arkham City for Armored Edition for Wii U, which was amazing. It allowed you to look at the map and roam at the same time. You couldn't do that on the console. Well, the other console systems. I love the story of Arkham City, just hate the fact that Joker died. But it doesn't really matter, being that he kind of comes back in Arkham Knight, but the reason this ranks so low is actually not its fault. Overall, it is an amazing game, and the fact that it has so much to do in a small, well, decent-sized map, it's amazing. And the DLC mission for Harley Quinn's Revenge, that was absolutely a blast. I loved it. Now, number 2 is Batman Arkham Knight. This ranks so high because of the fact that it allows you to drive the Batmobile. Nothing makes you feel like Batman more than driving the car. It has many flaws. For example, the fact that it over-relies on the Batmobile, but its story is pretty good. Unfortunately, its story can be quite predictable at times, but overall, great game. It has so much DLC and so much to do. I just couldn't place it any lower. Now, if you haven't figured it out already, in the number 1 spot is Batman Arkham Origins. Now, many believe that this is the worst game of the whole series. I think it is the best. It has so much to do in a map twice the size of Arkham City, or at least roughly twice the size. The story. Batman's taking on 8 assassins in one night, all competing for a bounty on his head, not including the cops that are trying to get in on the bounty. That's badass. That is completely badass. One thing I don't like about the Arkham Origins game, though, is the fact that Joker is the main villain. I mean, I love the Joker dearly, but I wanted to see someone else get the spotlight. I was excited to see Black Mask. I mean, he was a villain I didn't know of until I played Arkham Origins. And I really wanted to have a unknown villain or a less known villain to get the spotlight. While in all the other games, Joker's almost always got the spotlight. Even if he's not the main villain. I mean, Arkham Knight, he's dead. And the whole game is pretty much just a countdown until Joker takes over Batman's body. Now, the DLC, Cold Cold Heart, was amazing. I love the suit from that story. Unfortunately, they don't make it a playable skin. Now, I do love the fact that this game includes a lot more, of the detective missions. In fact, once you complete all the side missions, you unlock detective cases. And these are mainly just detective work. And, of course, a small amount of catching the bad guy. And it takes what was good about Arkham City and adds more to it. I'm going to have to wrap this up. I may make a separate video just for explaining why this is in the place I gave it. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up. If you'd like to see more like it, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.